So, very good afternoon to all, and welcome back to our class of heat transfer. So, yesterday we have finished our discussion on overall heat transfer coefficient as well as we covered the point of critical radius of insulation, and we discussed the significance of critical radius of insulation in different cases, how it is used to increase the heat transfer rate, and how it is used to decrease or prevent the heat loss. So both those cases were well explained in details. Now with this, now let me share the screen. Now we are going to discuss the next point. I hope you are able to see the screen. So next part is derivation of generalized differential equation of heat conduction in Cartesian coordinates. It is basically an energy equation. We will apply the law of energy conservation and thereby we'll set up the energy balance equation. And while doing this, as we are doing it for conduction, we are going to apply Fourier's law of heat conduction. So while deriving the standard equations for heat transfer rate through plane wall, hollow cylinder, and hollow sphere, we had actually applied Fourier's law of heat conduction in one dimension only. As now we are interested in getting the general equation that will represent that will cover all three dimensions of heat transfer. So all three possible dimensions x, y, and z in the rectangular coordinate system or Cartesian coordinate system will be considered here, and also other factors such as the heat generation, internal heat generation within a material, as well as the change in total energy or enthalpy of the of the material which is considered, that will also take into consideration. Uh, so as you can see in the diagram, this is Cartesian coordinate system. This is positive x direction. This is positive y direction. Positive y direction is vertically upwards, and positive z direction is shown like this, which is perpendicular to the plane of paper, which is perpendicular to the plane of this screen. Now see, this is a three-dimensional diagram. For this, we will consider for of any material, of any single homogeneous uniform material, we will consider a very small differential element as shown here, a small cube like this, having length dx, height dy, and width dz. So this is a very small differential element out of any material through which conduction is happening, and conduction is happening in all possible three directions that we will consider. Now this is the small differential element under consideration. For clarity and our understanding, we have made it large here. So this figure, because we are interested to see all the things in details, what is happening in details of this differential volume. That is why it is made in large. Otherwise, it is not the element will not be in practice. It will not be so large or so big. Now, this rectangular box will be considered. Uh, these corners of this rectangular box are named as A, B, C, D. So A, B, C, D is this left face. A, B, C, and D in red color you can see, and E, F, G, H is this face. So this face A, B, C, D, and this vertical face E, F, G, H. Okay. So is face ABCD and EFGH are parallel to each other, and they are in vertical plane. In the same way, uh, in horizontal plane we have two faces. At the bottom it is BFGC, and at the top it is AEHD. AEHD. So that is in horizontal plane. In the same way, the remaining two faces are ABFE and DHGC, which are like front end and back end. So all six faces we will see. Now see, this is positive x direction as indicated here. This is vertically upwards, positive y direction, and this is positive z direction, which is coming out of the paper or plane. Now we will consider the heat conduction in all three directions, one by one. So here, as you see, there is a heat conduction into this element from this face. So this face ABCD will be like inlet. It will treat it as a inlet, and face EFGH in x direction, it is outlet. In the same way, in horizontal plane, from the bottom heat is incoming. So face BCGF is inlet, and the top surface or top plane ADHE is a outlet, and same can be applied for this Z direction. So in x direction, heat is incoming. Now suffix x indicates heat transfer in x direction. So this is incoming heat, and outgoing heat is it is given in the mathematical form like this: Q suffix x plus dabba by dabba x of qx dx. As we are using differential form of equation, we have to add this differential change. Just a minute. Mm, if you have any trouble in viewing the screen, or any problem with the audio or video, audio or voice, you can put your message in the chat box or message box. I hope it is clearly visible and also audible to you. Hmm? Okay. So this is the heat incoming into the element, and this is the heat outgoing from the element. So outlet. And while passing through this element, whatever is the change, what change is happening to the heat transfer, that will be added like this. So at outlet we have Qx, which has already come in, plus this change dabba by dabba x of qx into dx. So this is the this differential is like rate of change, and this is over the distance dx, so it is multiplied by dx. So it indicates the total differential change. uh, we are now right now, as a general case, we are adding this value numerically. This value may be positive, may be negative, or it may even be zero. So that all depends on what case we are considering and what conditions are given, in a problem. Same way, in y direction, vertical y direction, this is bottom face is inlet, so qy is in, and the heat leaving from the differential volume, or heat uh, being conducted out of the differential volume, is qy plus dabba by dabba y of qy dy. In the same fashion, we can write it for z direction. This is the DHGC is the inlet, so QZ is the incoming at this back end phase, and it is outgoing from the front end. So it is QZ plus dabba by dabba Z of QZ dZ. So all six components of heat incoming and heat outgoing are accounted here. And in addition to this, there may be some heat generation, internal heat generation inside the volume, inside this differential volume. So it is shown like this. It is a uniform heat generation. It means that in all three directions, uh, same heat generated is at the same rate. So it is distributed in uniform fashion. So Q gen is the internal heat generation. So with this, now proceed to our mathematical derivation. The same is said here. Consider very small differential element of dimensions dx, dy, dz of any solid material. Then now let conductivities. Uh, conductivities, there will be three different values of conductivities in x direction, y direction, and z direction, because we are considering a general case. So we will treat them differently. So kx, thermal conductivity in x direction, ky, conductivity in y direction, kz in z direction. Again, the capital T notation will be used for temperature, and area, capital A, will be used for cross sectional area. Now consider heat conduction in x direction, and let us use the Fourier's law. Let us apply the Fourier's law for the heat conducted into the element through phase ABCD. The first step is this. So to find amount of heat transfer conducted into the element in x direction at inlet, that is at this phase, we know the Fourier's law is given by q equal to minus k dt by dx. General law is rate of heat transfer q is equal to minus k a dt by dx. Since it is in x direction, we are using suffix x. So qx equal to q in equal to minus kx, area in x direction x, ax, and dabba t by dabba x, temperature difference or temperature gradient in direction of x. Now see this area, which as per the law, area should be perpendicular to the direction of heat transfer. Direction of heat transfer is horizontal here. So area normal to this or perpendicular to this is this area ABCD, that is inlet area, and it can be calculated by dimensions. This is a rectangular face, so it will be dy into dz. So ax will be equal to dy into dz. That will be the next step. So ax is written as dy into dz, face area. So qx equal to minus kx dy dz dabba t by dabba x. Let's call it equation 1. Similarly, we will now apply Fourier's law of heat conduction for heat conducted out of the phase. Heat which is conducted out of the phase from the outlet, that is phase EFGH. Again, let us go back to the diagram. While doing this, always we have to keep the diagram in front of us. Since there are limitations on this screen, uh, I have to like roll back and forth. Okay, so this is the area, this is the diagram, and this is the outlet area EFGH, and the area of again EFGH will be the same dy into dz. Now we are interested to find this entire quantity. So qx plus dabba by dabba x of qx into dx equal to q out, which is qx plus dx, that is heat transfer rate at x plus dx distance. So equal to minus kx into area is dy dz into dabba t by dabba x. This is original qx plus the rate of change of this quantity qx with respect to x. That is why it is written like dabba by dabba x of minus kx dy dz into dabba t by dabba x. We are taking the differential of this entire quantity with respect to x. That is why it is written into dx. The entire bracket or entire differential will be multiplied by distance dx or length dx. So q at qx plus dabba by dabba x of qx will be given by like this. Okay. Here what we have done is minus sign is taken out and both are written as a sum. Now this is the heat outgoing or heat conducted out of the element. Now if we take the difference between incoming and outgoing heat, we can write for net amount of heat conducted in x direction. Q in minus Q out equal to, that is Qx minus Qx plus dx, that is heat transfer rate at x plus dx distance. So qx minus in bracket qx plus dabba by dabba x of qx dx. Now let us put all these values. Qx will be minus kx dy dz into dabba t by dabba x. Now here it is a minus sign, so minus. Uh, Now this minus and minus will make it plus, because this quantity there is always there is already a minus sign. So this negative and this negative will make it positive. So this comes out as kx into dy dz into dabba t by dabba x. This is positive, this is negative. Both terms are same, so they will get cancelled. And what remains is remaining term, only the last term, that is dabba by dabba x of kx dy dz dabba t by dabba x into dx. So this is the net amount which is left here. So qx minus q minus q of at x plus dx equal to plus dabba by dabba x of kx dabba t by dabba x into dx dy dz. Here this term dx dy dz are taken together and they are written as a single product dx dy dz. Let us call it equation number 3. So we obtained the net amount of heat conduction in x direction. Same logic can be applied to obtain the net heat conduction in remaining two dimensions, that is y direction and z direction. Okay, so we will not do all the steps, we will directly write the net amount. So in y direction, it will be qy minus q at y plus dy equal to dabba by dabba y of ky dabba t by dabba y into dx dy dz, equation number 4. And in z direction, qz minus q at z plus dz equal to dabba by dabba z of kz dabba t by dabba z dx dy dz, equation number 5. So equation 3, equation 4 and equation 5 give us the net amount of heat conduction in respective directions, in x direction, y direction and z direction. Now if we add them all together, all the heat conduction, net amount of heat conduction in these directions, we will get the total change or total heat conducted out of the element. So in all three directions, we will add them together, equation 3 plus 4 plus 5. So qx net plus qy net plus qz net will be equal to, now from all these three equations, if you look at them, uh, this term is common, dx dy dz, here also dx dy dz and dx dy dz. This is actually nothing but the differential volume dv. You know that volume of any cube can be, any cube or rectangular box can be given by the product of length, width and height. So dx dy dz are like length, width and height. So this term being common, it is taken out of the bracket, and the remaining terms are written in the bracket. So dabba by dabba x of kx dabba t by dabba x plus dabba by dabba y of ky dabba t by dabba y plus dabba by dabba z of kz dabba t by dabba z. So these terms are in bracket into dx dy dz. Equation number 6. This is just one result for all the heat transfers conducted into and out of the element. Now let us see what is happening within the element. So what is happening due to the heat generation in the element. Now let Q bar be the rate of heat generation per unit volume in the element. So SI unit will be watt per meter cube. Q bar is the rate of heat generation per unit volume. So dV, as I said, differential volume is dx into dy into dz, differential volume. Then the total rate of heat generation Q gen will be given by product of this rate, volumetric rate, the into the volume of element, into total volume of element. So Q bar into dV, then we get the total amount of heat transfer rate in watt. Q generation is equal to Q bar into dV equal to Q bar into dx dy dz. Again, Q bar will be treated as a constant because heat is being generated uniformly at a constant rate. Then this is equation number 7. Now because of this, what will happen because of this process, that is, some heat is incoming and some heat is outgoing in all three possible directions, that is x and y, x, y, and z. Okay, this is an external effect. Heat is coming from some from some body or some source, and it is again leaving out to some other material through the element in all three directions, x, y, and z. And net amount we have just evaluated like this. And again, there is some internal heat generation within the volume. So due because of this net amount of heat conducted and as well as heat generation within the element, what will happen? There will certainly be the change in internal energy or enthalpy of the element. So there will be some net change in the internal energy or uh, enthalpy of the element. Okay, so as you know that change in internal energy or enthalpy of any element will be given by mCp delta T, m mass into Cp, that is specific heat, into temperature change delta T. Now we are interested to find it in with respect to time, with respect to time. So that is why we are taking time derivative. We are taking time derivative. Again, this in this equation, uh, dE by dt, E will be energy or internal energy of the volume which we are considering. So dE by dt means rate of change of internal energy with respect to time t. Now this small t variable is for time, and capital T we have used for temperature. So these both these t's are different. Capital T for temperature and small t is for time. So dE by dt is equal to rate of change of mCp delta T. Now mass will be written like this: density into volume, density into volume of element, because density is kg per meter cube, that is mass per unit volume, into into volume, so that will turn into mass. So mass is split like this: rho into dv into cp, that is specific heat of material, into dabba t by dabba t, that is rate of change of temperature with respect to time, with respect to time t. Now with this we can write dE by dt equal to rho into dv is replaced by dx dy dz. So rho dx dy dz into Cp into dabba t by dabba t. Equation number 8. Now the net heat conduction in all directions across the element and rate of heat generation will cause a change in internal energy of the element. So we can now apply the law of energy conservation. Law of energy conservation. Using this energy balance or energy conservation, we can exactly know what will happen to the internal energy of the element. So we can write that Q in minus Q out plus Q generation is equal to rate of change of internal energy of the element, dE by dt. So some heat is incoming and some heat is outgoing. So we have taken the difference between them, that is the net amount, plus some heat is being generated inside the element, and both will cause the change in internal energy of the element. That is why this equation. So this is Q net plus Q generation equal to dE by dt. If we put from previous equations for Q net and Q generation in differential form, we will get this. Q net is already we have derived like this: dabba by dabba x of kx dabba t by dabba x plus dabba by dabba y of ky dabba t by dabba y plus dabba by dabba z of kz dabba t by dabba z. So this full bracket, square bracket, is Q net plus Q generation, sorry, into dx dy dz. This small term remains, into dx dy dz. So this entire term is q net plus q generation is q bar into dx dy dz, q bar into dx dy dz is equal to, on right hand side, dE by dt we had just written like this: rho into dx dy dz into cp into dabba t by dabba t, into dabba t by dabba t. So equation we can, in short, we can identify it like equation number 6 plus 7 is equal to equation 8. We had numbered the equations, so 6 plus 7 will give us equal to equation number 8. So from all these terms, dx dy dz being common can be cancelled out from left hand and right hand side, and we are left with this reduced form of equation, that is dabba by dabba x of kx dabba t by dabba x plus dabba by dabba y of ky dabba t by dabba y plus dabba by dabba z of kz dabba t by dabba z plus q bar is equal to rho cp dabba t by dabba t. Now this equation number 9 is known as general differential equation of heat conduction in Cartesian coordinates. So this equation covers all possibilities. It covers each and every term that is possible for heat conduction. Just a minute. Somebody is trying to enter. I hope everyone is there. All who tried to join have been already allowed, so that should not be a problem. Okay, now coming back to where we are. Okay, so this is a general differential equation because it covers all possibilities. That is, all net amount of heat conducted in x direction, in y direction, z direction, then internal heat generation, and the change in internal energy of the system, internal energy of the element. Okay, and also uh, we have assigned different values of conductivity. So it is also covering the possibility of different conductivity value in all three directions. Kx is different, ky different, and kz different. Okay, and this equation will be useful in dealing with all types of conduction problems. So this is a mother. This is like a mother of all equations. This is like a mother of all equations, and all subsequent equations have been derived from this basic equation. So this is a basic equation from which we can derive any any specific case, we can derive any required formula pertaining to particular case. Okay. Now, now from this basic equation, we will derive some more modified form of equations or reduced form of equations, so that we can easily remember, because it looks very complicated or difficult in mathematical terms, because it involves partial derivatives, again partial derivatives, and there these are in second order, because here there is a dabba by dabba x. Again, it is differential of differential, so it will be second order differential. Okay, so let us simplify by applying some assumptions and some conditions. Now for isotropic materials, isotropic material means the conductivity will be same in all directions, in x direction, y direction, z direction. Material will show the same only single value of conductivity. Now let us consider that material. So we can replace kx, ky, and kz by a single variable k, all equal, so all equal to k. So equation 9, if we put for kx, ky, and kz a single quantity or single term k, so k will be common and will be taken out, and it will be constant. So k taken out of the integral, out of the differential equation, and equation 9 reduces to this form. So k into bracket of this differential plus q bar equal to rho cp dabba t by dabba t. Now again, this will turn into second order differential. Dabba by dabba x of dabba t by dabba x means dabba square t by dabba x square. The same will happen for y direction. Dabba square t by dabba y square plus dabba square t by dabba z square plus q bar equal to rho cp dabba t by dabba t. Now we will divide this entire equation by k on both sides. So this k will disappear. Here q bar, we get q bar by k, and here we get rho cp by k, because k is divided. This equation is divided by k, so k here cancels and remaining k appears here. So this differential, second order differential plus q bar by k equal to rho Cp by k into delta T by delta T. This is equation number 10. Now from mathematics, we can adopt some simplification so that notations become easier to rewrite again and again, because it is a time consuming writing this again and again. These are very large mathematical terms, and every time if we are writing dava square t by dava x square and for every term, so it makes lengthier. Okay, so to avoid that, there is a Laplace operator in mathematics, which is this inverted triangle del. So Laplace operator del is equal to dabba by dabba x plus dabba by dabba y plus dabba by dabba z. Since here the variable is t, so del square t, this equation can be replaced by del square t. Uh, this entire equation will be represented as del square t plus q bar by k equal to rho Cp by k into dabba t by dabba t. Equation number 11. So this becomes a very short and condensed form of general equation. Just because we have substituted this entire bracket by the operator del. Okay, so del square t plus q bar by k equal to rho Cp by k into dabba t by dabba t. Now from this we obtain one new parameter or new property. This term rho Cp by k, this is a ratio. Um, if we take the reverse of this, it will be alpha equal to k upon rho Cp, and this alpha is a new property of material. It is named as thermal diffusivity. Thermal diffusivity of material. So it is a new property of material. Let us see what are the implications of this alpha. So alpha is equal to, in numerator we have conductivity and denominator we have rho into Cp. Cp is a heat capacity, specific heat of material. So it indicates uh, this ratio indicates the ability of material to propagate the heat by conduction relative to its ability to store or absorb the thermal energy. So rho Cp means storage capacity. Suppose some material is heated, some material is heated. What will happen? It will first absorb the heat. It will first absorb the heat, and then heat will be conducted through that material. So uh, that material will have some conductivity and some value of rho and Cp, that is heat capacity. If we take the ratio of both these two, that will indicate the thermal diffusivity of material. Okay, so if we numerically if we take the values, so we can generally see that for metals, uh, for metals, alpha is very high as compared to other materials such as non-metals and liquid gases, etc. So it shows that how fast or how slow is the response of any material uh, to the heat transfer. As you know that metals can be easily heated or can be quickly heated. Metals, if you heat any metallic rod or any metallic sphere or any metallic mass, uh, that will quickly absorb the heat, as well as it will conduct the heat very quickly. The time required for heating process will be very short. Okay, because of high alpha. But at the same time, if you take some other material such as wood or plastic or rubber, and if you try to heat it, it will respond very slowly. The response will be very sluggish because of low value of alpha. Rubber, plastic, all these materials have very low conductivity, and as compared to their storage capacity of heat in the form of energy. So whenever any plastic or rubber material is heated, they will first absorb lot amount of energy, and conduction will be very less. Conduction through them will be very less as compared to the energy storage. So this is how we can compare from one material to another material on the basis of alpha. On the basis of alpha. So finally, del square t plus q bar by k equal to 1 upon alpha into dabba t by dabba t. This is uh, this is a reduced form of this equation. Now let us apply various cases. Let us apply various cases such as, now for this basic equation, suppose there is no heat generation. Internal heat generation is not present or is absent. So q bar equal to 0. We can put q bar equal to 0. So this will be del square t equal to 1 upon alpha dabba t by dabba t. So this is known as Fourier's equation. Some name is given, and this is three-dimensional in nature because del square t represents all three directions x, y, and z. Three-dimensional equation, and it is unsteady equation. Okay, unsteady means the temperature T is changing with respect to time t, and this is not zero. So temperatures are changing with respect to time. So that means unsteady state heat transfer or uh, condition, transient condition of heat transfer. Then another equation, Poisson's equation. For this, the condition is steady state heat transfer with internal heat generation. So Q bar will be there, but the rate of change of temperature with respect to time will be zero. So steady state condition means dabba t by dabba t equal to zero. That is right hand equal to zero. But there is a heat generation. Heat generation is not zero in this case. So del square t plus q bar by k is equal to zero. This is three-dimensional equation, as well as it is a steady state heat transfer with internal heat generation. There is an internal heat generation. So this is Poisson's equation. This is another case. And last case will be having steady state. So this term will cancel, as well as there will be no heat generation. So this will also get cancelled. So both these terms turn to zero. So we have q bar equal to zero, steady state, that is dabba t by dabba t equal to zero. So we are left with only this form, very short form of the equation, del square t is equal to 0. So it is a three-dimensional and steady state heat transfer. Three-dimensional and steady state heat transfer. Then further, uh, so far we saw all the cases in three dimensions. The same equation can be reduced to two-dimensional heat transfer, two-dimensional and one-dimensional heat transfer. In case of two-dimensional, you see the one of the dimension x, y, z will get cancelled. That it means that heat transfer will not take place in that uh, direction. So that term will vanish. So dabba square t by dabba x square plus dabba square t by dabba y square. Z term is not present here, plus q bar by k equal to 0. So this is steady state with internal heat generation for two dimension. Same way we can go for one dimensional steady state with internal heat generation. If y is also absent, if heat transfer in y direction is also absent, so in that case it reduces to only these two terms, dabba square t by dabba x square plus q bar by k equal to 0. So this is known as one dimensional Poisson equation. One dimension Poisson equation. Similarly, we may have cases where heat generation will be absent or heat generation will not be there. So two-dimensional steady-state heat transfer without any heat generation equation will be dabba square t by dabba x square plus dabba square t by dabba y square equal to 0. The same way, for one dimension, this will simply reduce to only very shortest form and simplest form, that is dabba square t by dabba x square equal to 0. Steady state, one dimensional steady state heat conduction without internal heat generation. Most of the cases we are going to see will depend on this equation. Okay, whenever we are going to solve different problems, variety of problems, most of the cases you will see this equation will be very useful. Dabba square t by dabba x square equal to 0, because rest of the other cases such as two-dimensional and three-dimensional heat transfer, these are very difficult to solve numerically, because we have to we have to solve the differential equations in all directions, and their order is also high. Number of equations will be very large, and that becomes very time consuming and laborious. Okay. Then one dimensional unsteady state without internal heat generation. In this case, since it is unsteady, the right hand side will not be 0. So dabba t by dabba t term will be there. So 1 upon alpha dabba t by dabba t. This term will appear here. On right hand side, as usual, we have dabba square t by dabba x square. This equation will also be useful while dealing with unsteady state heat transfer. Steady state heat transfer means temperature will remain constant uh, according to time or with respect to time, and unsteady means temperature with respect to time will change. uh, for different times we will have different temperatures in the in the problem or in the case. Okay. In this way you can apply many other conditions, and you can get variety of forms, different forms of equations. So all of those this list will extend. It will go on and on as you apply more and more conditions. Okay. Only some of the important cases are covered here. Okay. So this is how generalized differential equation is derived in Cartesian coordinates, and various cases can be applied, and thereby equation goes on reducing, and it will take different forms or different formats. Uh, when we handle those particular cases, we will be going with the respective form of equation, general equation. Now, the same generalized differential equation of heat conduction can also be derived in cylindrical and polar coordinates. Okay, right now what we saw is for Cartesian Cartesian coordinate system, that is applicable for a flat plate or plain wall type of geometries. So when we want to apply this equation in cylindrical form of elements or form of items. Okay, cylindric some of, if we are applying the heat conduction equation for cylindrical uh, uh, cylindrical objects such as metallic rod, a large pipe, and all. In that case, we have to go with cylindrical coordinates. Cylindrical coordinates are uh, radius r, angular direction theta, and axial direction z. So variables will be r, theta, and z. So variables will change. Okay. So this way, this element can be taken. Again, uh, the derivation, the complete derivation of the Cartesian coordinate system is there for your syllabus, and for cylindrical coordinates and spherical coordinates, uh, you you only have to understand how it is derived and what steps are taken, and you have to only remember or understand. You should know the final form of the equation, the final result of this equation. The detailed derivation will not be asked, but you should know how it will be derived. Okay. So this is the other. The same procedure we will do for this also, as we have done for Cartesian coordinates. Same same energy balance equation will be used. Only the variables will be different. They will appear in r, theta, and z. But otherwise, all the procedures or steps are very common. So I will share this PDF with you, so you can go through each and every detail or each and every step of this, and you can practice this by rewriting in your assignment or homework book. Okay. So thereby you can understand how it is obtained or how it is derived. So once you understand one general derivation, one uh, step by step procedure in for one case, the same can be applied for the remaining cases. That is why we will not. Now see, this is the final form of equation that you should know and you should remember. It is 1 upon r dabba by dabba r of r dabba t by dabba r plus 1 upon r square dabba square t by dabba theta square plus dabba square t by dabba z square plus q bar by k equal to 1 upon alpha dabba t by dabba t. So also this also represents the general conduction equation in in cylindrical coordinates, that is all three dimensions or directions are covered: radial direction heat transfer, angular direction heat transfer, that is in theta, and axial direction heat transfer, that is z. Q bar, that is internal heat generation, K conductivity material of the cylindrical element, and the right hand side is like same. This right hand side remains same, that is 1 upon alpha into dabba t by dabba t, and this is also common in all the cases, q bar by k. Only changes in variables. Only changes in variables. Similarly, the third case will be the differential equation in spherical coordinates. If you consider a heat conduction in a sphere, like a solid sphere, solid uh, metallic ball, uh, okay, metallic ball. So in that case also we can take a small differential element like this, and we can apply okay, we can apply the Fourier's law in all three possible directions. Here the coordinates will be radius r, angular angular direction theta in one plane, and angular direction phi in another plane. So r, theta and phi will be the three dimensions, and these will be considered while deriving. So again, detailed derivation is not there. Only you have to know and understand the terms in the final equation. So this is the final form of equation. Okay. So with this, we complete our discussion on generalized differential equation of heat conduction using the law of energy conservation and law of the equation of energy balance for all three coordinate systems: Cartesian coordinate system, cylindrical coordinate system, and spherical coordinate systems. Okay, and various cases were also discussed, such as unsteady state, steady state, with heat generation, without heat generation, two-dimensional heat transfer, one-dimensional heat transfer, and their respective short forms were also derived. Okay, so with this, let us stop our discussion for today, and we can continue from this point onwards in the next lecture. Okay, just a minute. Let me record your attendance, then you can depart. Okay, it's done. You can leave now. Thank you.